Greetings everyone, and welcome to the No Games for Old Men annual channel retrospective. As we welcome 2025 with hope and gratitude, it's time to reflect on our achievements of 2024, foremost of which is that thanks to your subscriptions and viewership, No Games for Old Men was welcomed to the YouTube Partner Program this year. We literally could not have done that without viewers like you, so thank you for spending part of your year with this channel. We also had a productive year, completing more playthroughs than during the previous 2 years of the channel's life. We began the year by finishing a game we had started at the very end of 2023, Mafia Definitive Edition, the 2020 remake of the 2002 original. The game had been pitched to me as GTA-like, which was a huge selling point for me because I love the Grand Theft Auto series. Unlike GTA though, Mafia is a much more focused experience. The city is open for exploration, but unlike GTA, there is not much to do in the city. There are collectible cars and items available, but I felt little motivation to run around trying to find all of them. The gameplay, however, was great. And with the Definitive Edition's stunning upgraded visuals, I had fun completing the game's 21 story missions, with the possible exception of 2 missions that gave me some of the worst gaming agita I have ever felt in a long time. If you know the game, then you are probably very familiar with the automobile race and the armored car defense mission. 2 unpleasant difficulty spikes that I am epically proud of myself for managing to get through. Next was Showgunners, the 2023 turn-based tactical strategy game developed by Artificer. It scratched that Mutant Year Zero itch for me with its real-time exploration, trap-solving mechanics, and its incredibly fun turn-based combat. In Showgunners, you play as Scarlet, a contestant on a futuristic winner-kills-all game show called Homicidal All-Stars. During each day's broadcast, Scarlet moves through these beautifully designed environments, solving puzzles, avoiding traps, and even speaking to fans who are brave enough to view the violent action up close, all of which earns Scarlet reputation points that can be spent on sponsorships that grant her bonuses or new weapons. The reason for Scarlet's participation in this brutal competition is revealed throughout the game as Scarlet speaks with her fellow contestants backstage to rest after each day's events. The game is full of personality and style. My only criticism is that the game felt a tad easy. I managed to earn 100% of the achievements, including playing on the hardest difficulty, during my first playthrough. I will say that made me feel kind of like a badass though. I had a wonderful time with Showgunners and highly recommend it to fans of games like XCOM or Mutant Year Zero. On Valentine's Day, I started my most anticipated playthrough of the year, the brand new game from Don't Nod, Banishers: Ghosts of New Eden. Set during the North America colonial period, you play as Red McWraith, a practitioner of the fine art of ghost banishment. Having just completed Showgunners and Mafia Definitive Edition on their hardest difficulties, I selected hard mode for Banishers. And boy, did I suffer during combat until I got the hang of those mechanics. Once I did though, I found the combat fun and satisfying, bolstered by a heart-rending story. I won't spoil it here. Banishers: Ghosts of New Eden was an excellent follow-up to Don't Nod's previous action game Vampire, which, if you have been watching the channel, you know was a favorite of mine last year. Banishers did not disappoint, though it was long. At 91 episodes, it is the longest playthrough on the channel so far. Well worth the time, though. I needed something of a break after that, though, so I chose a shorter game, and for the first time on the channel, a game I have completed previously, though not on the channel. I stepped into the thick blue boots of Ultramarine Captain Titus for Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine. Set the difficulty to the hardest setting and stomped, chopped, and blasted my way through hordes of greenskins and chaos scum for the glory of the Emperor of Mankind. I had just as much fun this time around as I did the first time I played years ago before I started the channel, and I really look forward to playing Space Marine 2 soon, hopefully in 2025. It wasn't all solo gameplay though in 2024. I was also joined by Jeff and Scott for a completion of MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, a series that we had started last year. After finishing the main story campaign, we immediately started a new career so we could play through all of the DLC stories, bar Solaris Showdown. The game itself was a lot of fun, but as we discovered throughout our playthrough, it's even better with friends. We premiered new episodes every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time and chatted live with viewers. It was a great experience, and I'm sad it's over. The live feedback did inspire me to seriously look into what it would take to live stream, though. I don't have the gear for it at the moment, but when I've squirreled away enough pennies to purchase upgrades, I may begin live streaming some of my playthroughs. We'll see how that goes. Continuing the co-op adventures, Dan, Jeff, and Scott were joined by Curtis for the CRPG Solasta Crown of the Magister. If you remember the channel's weekly tabletop game show, Tabletop Tuesday, then you know Curtis and his boundless energy, his love for physical dice, hardcover game manuals, and messy character sheets. The four of us became friends more than 30 years ago playing Dungeons & Dragons in high school, so it only made sense for us all to reunite for Solasta Crown of the Magister, a game that makes use of the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rules. I invite you to join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific time as we chat along with viewers and take your excellent advice to heart. Solasta reminds me of the CRPGs I loved in school: Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights, Icewind Dale, and developer Tactical Adventures just announced Solasta 2, so there will be plenty more digital dice rolling in our future. Back to my solo adventures though, following the bombastic and brutal fun of Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine, I wanted to play another turn-based tactical game. Having played and loved XCOM Enemy Unknown and XCOM 2 several years ago, again before the channel was a thing, I decided to try XCOM Chimera Squad. Released in April 2020, right in the middle of COVID, remember that? Chimera Squad is a much more accessible, beginner-friendly game than its predecessors. Your soldiers are pre-created, fully voiced, permanent members of your squad, so even if they're incapacitated in combat, instead of dying, they will be afflicted with a scar that applies a debuff that affects traits like movement, speed, or accuracy. There's none of that XCOM heartbreak of developing a soldier to maximum level and only to have them be killed by a lucky plasma blast with a 10% chance of hitting. And while some critics said that made the game too easy and removed the penalty for failure, I say it also allowed the writers the opportunity to craft entertaining characters you could allow yourself to grow attached to. The game had all the style of an XCOM game, with the added personality that made it, for me, a real joy to play. And then it was time for my annual spooky game playthrough for October. Enter Alien Isolation, the first-person survival horror game developed by Creative Assembly. Yeah, the studio behind Total War. Holy Xenomorph, is this game scary. You play as Amanda Ripley, daughter of the film franchise's Ellen Ripley, portrayed by Sigourney Weaver. When a company man informs Amanda that they have located a distress signal from her mother's lost ship, the Nostromo, Amanda joins an expedition to hopefully find and rescue Mom. Drawing copious amounts of inspiration from the 1979 film, in Alien Isolation, a xenomorph wreaks havoc on the space station, and Amanda must sneak through darkened hallways, hide under tables and in lockers, use her engineering skills to craft useful items like noisemakers and Molotov cocktails, and do everything she can to find a way off that station. I found it almost as scary as Dead Space, had a blast playing it, and boy, do I never want to play it again. But I couldn't stop there. Isolation was short, and I ended up finishing it in just 1 week into October, so I had to play another scary game to make up the difference. Staying within the franchise, and taking advantage of a fortuitous Steam Autumn sale, I jumped right into Tyndallus Interactive's 2023 real-time squad-based combat game, Aliens Dark Descent, the finale of which was posted to the channel on December 24th. So it truly was my nightmare before Christmas. With the soldier development and base management mechanics similar to games like XCOM, but with real-time combat and roguelite elements, Aliens Dark Descent is like no game I have ever played before. In the same way Alien Isolation felt like the first film, Aliens Dark Descent evokes the action and tension of James Cameron's 1986 sequel. I might be suffering from recency bias here, but I think Aliens Dark Descent might be my favorite gaming experience of the year. I even started a New Game Plus on Nightmare difficulty immediately after the credits finished rolling. And that wraps up this wrap-up of No Games for Old Men's 2024. I am grateful to every viewer who watched, commented, and subscribed this year. You have made this a truly satisfying endeavor. So thank you. But I want to know, what was your favorite gaming experience of 2024? What games are you looking forward to playing in 2025? I need some ideas. What lies ahead for me? I have just started my new playthrough of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, so that should keep me busy for a few more weeks. But we'll have to see what lies beyond that. I've received several great viewer suggestions, and my Steam library is full to bursting with unplayed games. Lots of opportunities. But whatever ends up happening, I'm sure it will be a good time, and I hope you will join me. Thank you for watching. Happy New Year. I hope you're enjoying whatever you are playing, and we will see you next time.
No games.